what they're given is just like the Chinese buns, the white, just they have these kind of buns that has nothing, no meat, nothing inside, just white plain bread. That's what they're eating. They're malnourished, and malnourishment also affects your mental state. So people in these concentration camps are, even if they survive and are released, like majority of them pass away really soon. Torture is happening in both sides, prison and concentration camps, but there is also a version of concentration camps for children. So these are children whose parents are imprisoned or in camps, and they're orphaned. They don't have anyone to look after them. These can be as young as infants, babies, to maybe like teenagers, and they don't have any parents, so they take them to these orphanages, mini version of a concentration camp. They give them a Chinese name. They tell them, this is your name, you're Chinese. They speak Chinese only. And I mean, these are young kids. So if they don't have parents to control them, they're gonna believe them. So they grow up as Chinese people. They grow up knowing, believing, thinking they're Chinese, with Chinese ideology, Chinese beliefs, and Chinese culture. So in terms of torture and experiences they're having in these camps, so as women, of course, it's just the hardest torture hearing for me is the rape of these women by multiple Chinese men in a single day. You know, your living conditions really affect your mental state. When you're living in a cell with 60 other women, you have no privacy. It's just one single bathroom. You don't have a comfortable place to sleep in. That just already it affects you mentally, it weakens you, and it drives you insane. And when you're getting raped every day, multiple times, even having to carry their children, sometimes these women get pregnant by these Chinese soldiers, and it's horrifying. It's unimaginable having to carry your enemy's child, especially conceived through. It's something I can't even begin to fathom. Also, Chinese people are known for their extreme torture methods, like sleep deprivation, just keeping you awake for days and days, and just asking you questions, interrogating you. Also, electrocution is also one of them.
What kind of challenges do Uyghurs face while trying to practice their religion?
You know, during the rule of communism, a lot of our traditions have been wiped. And my mom, when she did find Islam, but she would always pray. Praying was a big part of her life. It was easier for her in the village because you're not under constant surveillance. There's not a lot of police officers watching you. It was safer for her to pray there. But when she went to Urumqi for education, college, praying was not allowed, or fasting was not allowed. So she would do everything in secret. And I mentioned my experiences with the Chinese passport. I had to for my photo to be accepted on the passport, I had to take my hijab off. Imagine going to a photographer, a male photographer. He's going to take your ID photo, but you have to take your hijab in front of him because your country's passport that represents you does not allow you to have a hijab on in your picture. That's degrading and that's inhumane. I learned how to read the Quran from my aunt. She used to teach Quran, just not just to me. She had other girls staying at her house. But later when I returned, I heard that she was doing it in secret. Girls, like, they would come from like back doors so the police officer would not see them. There's a lot of stories of from my friends also of their aunts or uncles teaching Islamic Quran or giving Islamic inspirational speeches done in secret. So they would either do it at night, at dark, or maybe they would come really early in the morning so no one would see them, and then leave like really late at night. And they would not leave all at the same time, so just one by one. So if a group of people leave a house, it gets suspicious. It's dangerous. It can harm the person that's teaching. It can harm the families of the girls. So yes, a lot of practices were done in secret.
You moved from East Turkestan to Egypt and then Turkey. Why?
The Chinese government demands or asks the Egyptian government to deport any Uyghurs that were living in Egypt, because back then there were a lot of Uyghur students in Egypt.